Welcome to Keeper of Secrets Tarot. I'm Gypsy Girl, here to give you another lesson for today. Just want to be grateful for the energy coming in, for your likes, your subscribes, and your shares. The lessons are timeless, so really doesn't matter what day you get it on. And of course, if you're following the lesson and you don't feel that it's something that's going on in your life at the moment, then it just means that you're being prepared for this that may come to you. And in most cases, just understanding the lesson could be all that you need. If you're following your own personal growth, it may just be a confirmation of things that have happened to you already or things that will come, but understanding the process helps you avoid the dilemma in itself because you've prepared for it. You take it as it resonates, and of course passing it on to someone who you know may be going through the lesson in itself could help them. Well, the moon is coming out with truth, information, understanding, a journey, an outing maybe. In a turmoil, I know that's what's going on for this month. We're sifting through our anxiety, finding peace. What is the lesson for today? Thank you, Spirit. What does the collective need to learn today? Thank you for protecting me, keeping me safe, protecting the collective, keeping us safe. What does the collective need to learn? What is the lesson for today? What does the collective need to learn? We have an ace that's prominent here with the Chariot, so victory. Maybe you're going to go out on a date. Change your life. What is the lesson for today? Thank you, Spirit. And the moon shows up again. Look at that. Well, we've had the moon before, and its timing is mainly what comes around. But we also have that secrecy, that unknown, or that deep knowing, when you have that feeling, you know, you got a feeling that this is going to happen. That sense of intuition. I feel that is more the lesson here. Because we need to trust in what we sense around us as signals, you know, the bells that ring, the light bulbs that go on. We get that sense of deep down inside, we know which way to go. But we tend to go the opposite because the doubt is so great that we're second guessing. And then when we do that, things tend to fall apart, and we look back and say, well, I should have done that, and I could have done that, and then the regret circles around. And that is where our self-esteem can tend to taper off and we go into that denial. We don't want to face things because we don't trust. And the more we don't trust, the more we don't want to face things. And it's a spiraling down effect instead of a spiraling up. It takes courage to trust in the unknown, because that's what the moon is all about. When we try to question the moon, we tend to get confused. The deeper we go, the more questions we ask, and that is the downside of the moon card, because it is known that if you look up at the moon, you go crazy. And that is a belief. That's not unknown. That's not uncommon. It's not an uncommon belief. That's why they tell you don't look up at the moon. When it's full, you tend to go crazy. But that is superstition. It doesn't mean it's true. It just says that when the moon is in full force, things are really out of our control. And we need to trust in what we feel, because it's all about feeling, that emotional connection that we have, that pull toward the moon as there's a dark phase, and in that darkness is where all of what we don't know is starting to take place, building up momentum. And then the moon reveals itself a little bit at a time through the phases. As the phases grow, so does the intensity, power, the pull of the moon. By the time it gets to the full stage, well, we're in the hold of the moon. It's like that current that takes us, and we can't let go, we can't fight it. We have to go with the flow. And if we try to fight it, that is when things start to go awry. It is to surrender, is what all of that breaks down to. And if we are able to surrender and allow things to take place and come to fruition without patience, we start to get clarity where there is confusion. See, the mermaids here, really what they're depicting is one headed toward the past and one headed toward the future. And we are in between. It is in the in-between that we tend to hold and make sense of things. And that insanity that we are so afraid of fades out. So if it is that we need to surrender, what will be the tool? I have upside down cards. Okay, this is the one. It is our denial that seems to be in reverse. I'm not changing it because I did not set up the cards to be in reverse, so somehow this one got turned around when I was putting it back together. We will take it as reverse just because this is a card where, like the moon, we're in between the two. We're deciding to speak or not to speak. We're holding back because we have a certain effect that will come from our speaking that we either do or do not want to show or have expressed. The dilemma is recognized with this card. Indecision, just like with the moon, where we are a little confused, But here, it's not so much of a confusion. It is knowing that things need to be said and you're holding back on them. So maybe the moon is telling us that we have to wait. But when this card is in reverse, it is not about holding back, but letting go. Surrendering. So we have the moon in the right side with the lesson that comes into surrendering, because that's the message I'm getting here. And then we have the denial card, which is in reverse, which is telling us that we're not going to deny, that we are going to release, that we are going to speak what needs to be spoken. So we can look at this, that within the next moon phase, that dilemma is going to fade out, or at least come to some kind of conclusion. See what Spirit is doing. Yeah, these cards are right side up. It's the only one. I'm sorry, I can't get over that I have one upside down card. And it comes in the lesson. So we have the Eight of Pentacles. This is the details, slow, laborious work, where we pay attention to what is going on. Here we have the Tool that says we're going to release, we're going to let go. And here we have that surrender, that allowing, that letting the moon guide us rather than confuse us. Because that's what it does. And if we don't allow the moon to take the lead, then we will get lost trying to take the lead. Because of the shadow that the moon provides. In the shadow, things look larger or darker, scarier than they really are. And then we frighten ourselves as we walk through the moonlight. But here, Spirit has given us all the details, all the knowledge that we could have to get to understand. And then we have, when I say knowledge, this card is not a knowledge card, this is an action card. But because we're working on the details, the knowledge comes here with the two. Okay? And of course, this is divine knowledge. So Spirit is giving us possibilities of finding what we're needing to bring us to the brink of understanding what's going on with this moon, that we are able to speak freely, because that's what this will represent in the reverse, whereas in the upright it will be holding back and blocking from speaking. The details, we're working on them. Spirit is giving it to us, so we already know what we need to do in order to be able to speak. Okay, so what is the gift? Justice is served. So this is a good thing. That freedom that we're going to get because of this ability to go through the details. Again, this is an abundance card too, right? So things coming in, money coming in, whether it is real money or value of, whereas assets or belongings, okay? Take it as it resonates. This coming to us gives us that ease, which in turn is justified for us to speak. So at the bottom of the deck, we have the Victory card. And the deck did crack, so I'll just take it. So this Victory card here, well, we've seen it before, where our effort is being recognized. And this is our passionate experiences where we stand up and defend ourselves, or we're going to, because it's the 6. On the 7, we are actually pushing back. But here we're working with what we know and everything that we love, and we're going through and we've built upon it so we can become victorious and get recognition for that work that we've done. And that is going to make us receive a payout through justification. Justice is going to be served. This is real justice, huh? This is karmic justice. This is not necessarily in a courtroom, but in the courtroom of life, where the universe says you are worthy. You are worthy to receive. You are worthy to be recognized. Here we have the Nine of Pentacles. So here we are getting to the point of recognition where we're just missing the one to complete our legacy, because we're going from the 8 to the 9. We're just missing the one more pentacle to bring in that legacy that we're so deserving of. And of course it comes with a relationship, and we know this card to be our forgiveness card. So speaking freely brings in that forgiveness, brings in that abundance, brings in the recognition to complete, that we're going off into, well, we're moving forward because we're going from 8 to the 9. We have this recognition from our justice here, the justice card. So now we're going into creating and developing and fulfilling a relationship. So the forgiveness, let's see here, we have the Fool, a new beginning. And we will stop here. Oh, we have 2 more. So we have the 10 of Swords, and we have the 6 of Pentacles. So that reciprocity. And again, it is for that final betrayal is being paid off through the justice here. And then we have that healing card. That reciprocity comes back to us in healing, wisdom, because we are going off on a new journey. We have the love of Spirit giving us that possibility to have all this love and this healing love, because we are giving in with fulfillment here. We have 2 cups. Okay, so it brings back to commitment, and that commitment that was betrayed, there is going to be a forgiveness. There is going to be a new start, because we have to face the things we don't want to face. This is where we get to speak about the things that we don't want to talk about, or didn't want to, or were afraid to, because of that threat of getting into trouble or having major consequences come down upon, because we are speaking things that we feel we shouldn't say. But it will work out in the end, because that reciprocity is here. And then there is a healing. There is a healing that occurs here. Okay, I don't have to move them up. Just push this down some more. Just because I want to shuffle. Let's see. Okay, it's better that way. Okay, so we'll put these here for now. We have the reciprocity. I just said that, okay? But I want to bring it in so you can see that no matter what you feel you cannot say, I am saying to you now, those of you who are following your personal growth, you will be able to speak. What you say will be accepted by the person because of what you have between you. This relationship that you are so worried about is justified. Nothing is stopping you. The only thing that's stopping you is you. When you say, okay, I don't want to say because they're going to think. Well, you cannot know how a person is going to react unless you put forward. How you put forward does determine how the person will react, because of what your energy is releasing, what energy you release gives that person an indication about where you are coming from. But you cannot know what the next person feels about what you are about to say. You can't. You can assume and you can guess, but at the end of the day, you have to allow the next person to react in whatever way they're going to react. You dictating to yourself and finding a way to manipulate the next person into reacting the way you want them to can only go on for so long. At some point, you will not be able to control. You cannot believe that if you can control for a little bit, that you can control forever or for as long as you choose to. It doesn't work that way. You get to have control for a certain period, and then spirit takes over. Spirit allows you to do the things that you do in order to teach you. In hindsight, when you look back and see what you did, that's when you turn around and say, well, maybe I coulda, shoulda, woulda, but I didn't. Because you know the difference. You're grown enough to be able to see the difference, especially when you're looking at hindsight, when you see where you've been, what you've gone through, and how you behaved, and then you look to see forward. Am I going to continue doing what I've done, behaving in the way that I have? This is where you see. Not just where people think we're going crazy, but you have to allow. You have to allow. And that is the reciprocity that may come. Yes, it's coins here. But what value is put behind these coins? They, like I said, it could come in the form of money, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it is cash per se. It is more what is a value, and that is different for everyone. It could be just words, because we have to speak, and what we say has value. We have all this here. What we say has the value. I'm not saying that that is for everyone, but you take it to your circumstance. If you have a situation that is going on where you have serious court issues and justice is really being served in your life, then yes, there's a monetary payment coming to you in some form. Whether, like I said, if it's in assets or if it's in money itself. It could be for work, where your raise is increased, your position is changed, your paycheck is different. It could mean anything like that. But here, right now, in this lesson, the value is what is counted here. And this is where the healing comes in. Because of the value that is placed on your situation. If it is that you need to speak the truth about certain issues that will help your relationship, this is where the forgiveness comes in. And yes, you will get that because you have the value. Your words mean something. The emotion, we know it's emotional. I'm not saying it's not work. I'm just saying that the ability to heal with love, we have a double confirmation here. Because that's what she represents, and that's what she represents. And guess what? She is the step before the queen. So all the love, imperfection is in this card. And then all the power of that love is in this card. Either way, there is an emotional healing that is coming through for most of us. Those who choose to follow that path. Okay? Feels very straightforward, this. It's because of the coins. I'm not feeling the emotion. That means it's building up. We're building up. And this is good because that is what this month is supposed to bring us. We have to go through the ups and downs. And here we have releasing and allowing the moon, getting that flow to happen. Trusting. See, primal. Let's read it just because it fell out. Primal. It's a 32. It's a 5. So there is no other way around but through the very truth that lives within you. Yes, we will put it back in because it just comes back to say that we're talking about the truth. Releasing it. Letting it out instead of holding it back. That's where you can discern if it is this lesson really fits with you. If you have something to speak that you're not speaking, or that you've been worried about or confused about because you're not sure how it's going to be received or even responded to. But it will heal, and it is for value. Whatever it is that needs to be said will be accepted. It will be the end of whatever betrayals or indecisions, concerns, confusion, emotional confusion. Again, we had the manifestation card from yesterday. This popped out. Sometimes they come as a breeze upon your fingertips. At other times, they dwell in the depths of your soul. It is a dance between you and spirit as the magic unfolds between you and spirit. Let spirit guide you. Thank you, spirit. What is the oracle message for this lesson? It was so quiet when I started, and all this noise. Well, there you go. Just when you think it's one way, it turns out to be something else. There, Phoenix, perfect. New beginning. We'll use a connection with the Fool here, because basically it is that. Since I'm reading, summoned, your flesh rises from the ashes and into the expansive flame of your soul. And then we have creation, a new beginning. So it just follows. And yes, this will turn into an ace. It will, because you have the healing here. This 14, this is spirit saying this betrayal is going to dissolve. When you think you're going to lose everything, you'll be forgiven. It is in how you deal with it. Let's see how creation reads today. And look, we have embodiment. To claim it. Claim whatever it is that you've lived. That's a part of you. Whether it's good, bad, or ugly, it's still a part of you. Heal with your emotions. Through the darkness I crossed, and still I found myself in the presence of life. It's not going to end, even if we see this card here. What's going to end is how we're going to perceive things. Phoenix rising is a whole new exploration of the self. You've learned, you've churned, you've used your instincts, your intuition. You're using it, and because you want to speak. Follow your intuition. Follow your instincts. Don't second guess. And when you feel like you're not sure, let it happen. The holding back is good sometimes, but it depends. And that is where you will know. I thank you for showing up, for your likes, your subscribes, and your shares. If this lesson didn't come to you as a lesson today, don't worry. It'll come around again. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Love and light.